Chapter 25. I Can Unravel. Colosseum. Mengta spat out blood, while weakly looking at Windbell. Little by little, Windbell came and covered her head, revealing a pained look. Outside, the great battle between Guhai and Li Da was not able to affect the two in general. Windbell, cough cough, don't you remember me? You said we'd find a place where no one was around and live forever. I'm Yu Yao. I'm Brother Li Wei's woman. Wine Chime covered her head in a painful no 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 no. No 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 no. You can remember, you're Feng Zhong, the Feng Zhong who has been following Big Brother's ass. I'm Big Brother Mengtai. I'm your husband. I am Yu Yao. Windbell painfully covered her head as if she didn't want to admit it. Windbell was getting closer and closer to Mengtai, her eyes still in the midst of struggling. Snap! Mengtai didn't know where the strength came from and grabbed Windbell's hand. Feng Suzu was shocked and wanted to shrink back. But Mengtai did not let go. Puh! A mouthful of blood spewed out from Mengtai, immediately staining Windbell's hands red. Feng Suzu immediately showed a horrified look on her face. Windbell, I'm sorry for not being able to protect you. I'm dying. You must live well, Mengtai weakly said. No, you can't die. Feng Zhong showed a look of panic on her face. Mengtai's eyelids slowed down and gently closed up. The hand that grasped Windbell steeply loosened up, as if he had lost his voice all of a sudden. This scene steeply startled Windbell with a jolt. No, you don't want to die. You don't want to die. Husband. Feng Ling suddenly cried together, grabbing Mengtai's right hand and not letting go, anxious. Mengtai, however, did not make a sound and did not move a muscle. You wake up. I remember. I'm Feng Bell. Husband, I'm Feng Bell. Windbell suddenly cried her heart out. And right at this moment, Mengtai jerked violently. His eyes moved, but suddenly opened again. Feng Zhong, you remember me? Mengtai's face showed a look of surprise. Wine Chime looked at Mengtai waking up with wide eyes. Feng Suzu cried as she lay on top of Mengtai. Windbell, it's good that you want to wake up. A wave of satisfaction flashed in Mengtai's eyes. Rumble. In the distance, amidst the fog, a roaring sound was emitted. Li Wei's miserable screams rang out in the fog. At once, a chill ran through the hearts of countless gambling cultivators in the four directions. Although Li Wei had fought with Mengtai before and had long been badly injured, but, no matter what, he was still at the Yuanying realm. Isn't the Yuanying realm supposed to sweep away all Jindan and innate realms? Now that he was actually trapped by the innate realm and a large formation, it seemed extremely tragic. Heavenly Sword Life and Death Bureau. Impossible. How can so many people know the Heavenly Sword Life and Death game? Could it be? The ninth Duke on the mountain peak steeply shrunk his pupils. Ninth Prince, what did you think of? A subordinate curiously said. No wonder we can't find him. No wonder he looks so familiar to me. So many cultivators from the 9-5 Islands have searched for him, and there's not a single trace. So he's hiding here. The most dangerous place is the safest place. The ninth Duke revealed a wave of surprise and said, in the Heavenly Sword Life and Death Bureau. Li Wei's sword dangles in his hand, desperately clashed against the Heavenly Saber. Guhai's power of the formation at this moment was ultimately smaller, but it was enough to deal with Li Wei. Li Wei's sword dipper could cut a Heavenly Saber, but Guhai's Heavenly Saber was unending. Guhai's eyes were ice cold, and a starlight point floated out around his body, as if a chess piece was dancing. In the past, the pseudo-9 Dukes did not penetrate the Heavenly Saber Life and Death Bureau at all, and would only use magic treasures to set up formations. But Guhai was different. Guhai had completely penetrated it, and wherever it could be deleted or added, Guhai could adjust it. In a moment, tens and hundreds of heavenly daggers chopped towards Li Wei. Boomed Bad Jin, ah. In a series of miserable screams, Li Wei's body was suddenly covered in a large number of bloody gouges, and blood was spilled in all directions. Gu Hai had set up a formation and could clearly see Li Wei, while Li Wei couldn't find where Gu Hai was. The more than 2,000 villains who were following behind Gu Hai at the moment could also see the scene in front of them. Although the crowd of villains, because of their oath of allegiance to Gu Hai, also knew of Gu Hai's power and only acknowledged Gu Hai's wrist, however, most of them merely acknowledged it, but did not consider Gu Hai to be that unattainable, and did not rise to the level of worship. For a while, they might still be loyal to Gu Hai, but, after a long time, they would inevitably have their own petty thoughts. But with today's scene, no more villains dared to underestimate Gu Hai. That was the Yuanying Realm War, a Yuanying Realm powerhouse. At this moment, in front of Gu Hai, it was as if he was being cut by 1,000 cuts, right in front of everyone, in the midst of being lynched by a heavenly blade. This lynching caused a chill to run through the hearts of all the villains. What kind of unhindered feeling was that? Yuanying Realm War, hearing Li Wei's miserable screams, a kind of evil people, looked together to Gu Hai at the very front, and looking at Gu Hai's back, nearly everyone gulped. The recognition of Gu Hai instantly rose by countless. Perhaps, following this boss won't bury me, but if one betrays this boss, one will have an even more tragic end than this. This thought formed, instantly causing the expressions of the villains to be solemn. Bad. A large number of heavenly swords chopped at Li Wei's body, and soon, Li Wei was a bloody mess, with many of the wounds being able to see bones in general. The long sword had long been thrown out. Li Wei had reached the end of his rope, no longer resisting. Yu Yao, my love, Li Wei revealed a rueful smile, as if he was waiting for the final fatal slash. Gu Hai stared at Li Wei's expression and probed his hand a little. Boom! The heavenly blade life and death bureau broke open with a loud bang. The fog dispersed, and Gu Hai punched out, a huge fist deity bombarding Li Wei. Boom! Li Wei threw himself into the middle of the fighting arena and landed on the ground, bloody and limp. Hiss! Innate realm. Taken out by that innate realm. That group of villains, so terrifying. Above the surrounding mountain peaks, countless gambler cultivators revealed their astonishment, and chills ran through one's heart. At the last moment, Gu Hai didn't strike. Clatter. The crowd of villains slowly let go of their hands. With a large amount of true chi channeled, the crowd of villains was slightly deflated, but they were able to recover very quickly, and all of them looked towards Gu Hai. After the battle just now, Gu Hai's prestige was even greater. My lord, Gao Xianzi called out with a surging heart. Li Wei is still alive. Immediately torture the method to remove the mask, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Yes, the crowd of villains shouted excitedly at once. Mask, mask, finally able to unmask. Inside the Colosseum, Li Wei fell not far from Meng Tai. He fell down with a loud bang, bloody and limp, unable to move anymore. He fell to the ground, just in time to see Wine Chime crying on Meng Tai's body, who was hugging Wine Chime. Li Wei's face showed horror. Yu Yao, my Yu Yao. Win Bell, who was lying on Meng Tai's body, but shuddered violently, steeply got up, twisted his head, and looked at Li Wei, his face showing pain. Yu Yao, my Yu Yao. Li Wei suddenly revealed a forlorn smile. After a moment of silence, Feng Zhong suddenly cried out in shock. Brother Li Wei, Brother Li Wei. Meng Tai, who had fallen to the ground, changed his face. Wine Chime, you're Wine Chime. Don't be fooled by him, Wine Chime. I'm Wine Chime. Win Bell covered her head. No, you're Yu Yao, my Yu Yao. Li Wei shouted anxiously. I'm Yu Yao. Feng Zhong covered her head once again. No, Wine Chime. You're not Yu Yao. Yu Yao died long ago, Meng Tai shouted. Wind Chime covered her head. I'm Wind Chime. I'm Yu Yao, Wind Bell, Yu Yao. Don't think about it, my baby. Whoever you are, don't put yourself in so much pain, Li Wei said with immense heartache. Meng Tai, however, climbed up with great difficulty and looked at Li Wei with a fierce face. You're the one who caused Wind Chime to suffer so much. Only if you die, my Wind Chime will come back. Saying that, Meng Tai walked towards Li Wei step by step, his face showing a chilling killing aura. Don't kill my brother Li Wei, don't. Wind Chime was in the middle of crying in fear. Wind Chime, you're cognitively wrong now. If I kill him, you'll go back to Wind Chime. Let me kill him, Meng Tai shouted. Who? Steeply, Gu Hai blocked in front of Meng Tai. Helmsman Meng, I fulfilled my promise to you and helped you escape the danger. What about your promise to me? You said you would help me find a way to unlock the mask, but now you want to kill Li Wei. Gu Hai stared at Meng Tai and said in a cold voice. Meng Tai stared at Gu Hai and his face twisted for a while, as if he was thinking about whether or not to flip out with Gu Hai. Husband, I remembered. I'm Wind Bell. I'm not Yu Yao. I'm Wind Bell. Yu Yao died long ago. After a moment of twitching, Wind Bell suddenly shouted. Meng Tai instantly looked at Wind Bell, his face showing joy. Wind Bell, you remembered. You came back, Meng Tai said in surprise. Wind Bell cried and laughed. The two extreme emotions strangely intertwined. Who? Meng Tai hugged Wind Chime. Wind Chime, it's great that you can think of it. Husband. The two of them hugged each other to death. On the other side, Li Wei watched this scene with his eyes wide open, finally revealing a rueful smile. There was a helplessness, a despair, a kind of heart death in the smile. There was no greater sorrow than the death of the heart. Ha, Yu Yao, I've come to find you. Li Wei revealed a wave of heart death. Buzz. Steeply, Li Wei's body emitted a burst of fluorescence. His wounds were recovering rapidly, but his skin slowly aged. His hair became white down in an instant. Not good, my lord. Li Wei melted his yawning. He's bent on death. Shangguan Trace steeply exclaimed. As he spoke, Shangguan Trace stepped forward and steeply poked his finger at Li Wei. Pa. Li Wei's body steeply poked more than a dozen bloody holes. Li Wei instantly fainted and died, merely breathing a little in general. At this moment, the wind chime in Meng Tai's arms was shaking violently all over. Meng Tai quickly hugged the wind chime tightly, not letting the wind chime move, as if he was afraid that the wind chime was gone. How is it? Gu Hai called out in a deep voice. Shangguan Trace's face was ugly. My lord, Li Wei's life was saved. However, Li Wei is bent on death. He may not wake up once he passes out. Maybe never. A vegetable. Gu Hai's face sank. Is there any way to wake up? Shangguan Trace shook his head. No, a person with a dead heart cannot be saved at all, unless he wakes up on his own. Forcing an external force will only lead to a faster death. Perhaps the next moment. There is no sound. Meng Tai's arms. The wind chime has been in the middle of trembling. Meng Tai held on for dear life. Gu Hai twisted his head to look at Meng Tai. Meng Tai had been weak and dying earlier, but now he was much better. Is he pretending to be dead? Or was he really injured that badly? More importantly, did Meng Tai really make an effort to help himself unmask? No, he showed no signs of honoring his promise from the start. Ancient Helmsman, I'm really sorry, I tried my best, but it didn't work, so I can only wait. After 50 years, the mask falls off by itself. Meng Tai shook his head and said. All around, the faces of all the villains were very ugly. It looked like the mask was going to be undone. As a result, it was a lost cause. My lord, the crowd of villains were in an extremely low mood at the moment. Gu Hai didn't comfort the crowd of villains, but took a deep breath and looked at Meng Tai. 50 years, I can't wait for that. Oh, Meng Tai was slightly stunned. This mask, I have a way to undo it. Gu Hai twisted his head and stopped looking at Meng Tai. What? Meng Tai's face abruptly changed. How was this possible? The crowd of villains, however, their eyes lit up and looked at Gu Hai incredulously. Really? Your Excellency has a solution.